What's up, everyone? My name is Matt Sherman. In this video, we are going to dive into recent news of Hadrian expanding to Arizona and why I think this is bigger news for the startup scene than even TSMC expanding to Arizona. Let's get into it. So if you're not following along, Hadrian announced a couple of hours ago that they are expanding their footprint to Mesa, Arizona. It's going to be their largest site in their network. Some information about Hadrian is essentially they build parts for rockets, satellites, submarines, things like that. They work with the government. It's kind of in the defense tech world. And the key is that they're extremely relevant. They're extremely relevant to the startup industry. They're extremely relevant to cracked engineers that want to work at rocket ships. And it's extremely relevant because now that company is in Arizona. Okay. I compare Hadrian to TSMC because in some ways there's nothing similar about the two. If you look at TSMC, if I'm looking at my notes here, TSMC is going to invest or has already invested, is in the process of investing a $65+ billion amount of money. It's going to bring 4,500 full-time workers. They have 3 massive fabs planned. And it's just this massive boon for Arizona. It's this massive benefit that we get TSMC based here. And the fact that what it does to our reputation and the perception and what it does to the economic development of Arizona and the talent that's flowing in. This video is not about why TSMC moving to Arizona is a bad thing. It's an incredible thing, but I think it's not super relevant to startup founders here. I think it's not super relevant to early stage startups that are in the pre-seed, that are in the seed, that are in the Series A. It feels so distant. Like if I hang out with TSMC engineers, like at a party or something, it's just like, what are we going to talk about? We're in different worlds. Where the alternative here with Hadrian is that Hadrian is extremely relevant to the startup scene in the world, not just in Arizona, not even just Silicon Valley. This is relevant in DC. It's relevant across the world, and now they're moving to Arizona, and I think this is a opportunity to change the culture of the Arizona startup scene. Hadrian moving to Mesa means they're going to attract engineers that want to work at a massively quickly growing venture-backed startup. By the way, who are they backed by? They're backed by Founders Fund. They're backed by Andreessen Horowitz. They're backed by Less Capital. They're backed by the best. This is a hot as hell company, and they are moving to Arizona. And I think that is what we're talking about here. We're talking about a company that is a trajectory that's up and to the right, choosing Arizona. Is the impact going to be as big as TSMC? I don't think so. Right? I don't think that the initial impact is going to be as big. Let's look at the numbers. It's going to be a 270,000 square foot facility, $200 million investment, 350 jobs, and it's their largest site. So obviously that pales in comparison to TSMC. But look at the future. Look at if Hadrian continues to build this massive defense tech company, this company that serves the government, serves dozens of massive customers, then the people that work at Hadrian are going to leave Hadrian at some point and probably start some companies or probably invest in companies. And if there's a handful of them in Arizona, they may stay in Arizona. They may have bought houses in Arizona. They may start companies with friends they've met in Arizona. It allows people with the startup gene that have seen value creation, that have seen a company at scale, get them here, and then allows them to be in the mix. Go to the happy hours, go to the events, hang out with the ASU engineers, give back to the community. And I haven't met anyone at TSMC doing that. Why should they? They're not a startup. It's freaking TSMC. Their customers are Apple and Nvidia and like everyone essentially. So I think it's a big deal because what it does to the culture of Arizona, what the type of people that it attracts, the perception that when people see that a Peter Thiel funded company is expanding to Arizona, what does that do to other companies that are backed by similar people? It changes a perception, and it may not be as a big of a deal for economic development. It may not be as big of a deal for people whose job it is to get as many butts and seats as possible in their jurisdiction. But as a startup person in Arizona that wants Arizona startup scene to be more relevant, to be culturally important to the world, I think this is as big, if not bigger than even Anduril moving to Arizona. because Amarillo is much bigger, obviously. It's much more impactful, but there's less, maybe less growth. I think that because Hadrian is smaller, they may be able to grow more in Arizona, and this could be a huge part of their operation. I could not be more thrilled, and I would implore anyone that cares about the Arizona startup scene to look into this news and celebrate this. This is super freaking exciting, and I want us all to be amped because we should be.